Martin Racing Performance, the most advanced parts on the planet. Oh yeah!
Hey everyone, this is Nick from KS Power in Indianola, Iowa. We're here today to talk about the Yamaha C3. We've been doing a lot of work on here. You may have actually seen this on the dyno already from a YouTube page from MRP. As you can see, it's got a prototype MRP pipe on it. This was one of the first ones that was produced on it for the Yamaha C3. It works excellent. It is one of the biggest benefits that you're going to have on the Yamaha C3. This bike starts out at 2.2 horsepower at the rear wheels on the dyno. We've done clutch setup, variator setup, and we'll get to the clutch and variator setups, what we've done in here in a little bit. But the biggest improvements that we had was on the stock pipe. With the stock pipe, we gained almost 30% power. This bike now puts just under 4 horsepower down at the rear tire, and a lot of that was contributed to the exhaust itself. The exhaust itself is kind of tricky on these because these are fuel injected. You can't just get a carburetor and rejet it and be done with it. The exhaust is safe to run on the stock ECU from our dyno results. Don't mess with the intake at all. With the stock ECU in there, bad things will happen. So, but this guy now, after we've got it all said and done, with the power that we're making with it, just under 4 horsepower, and with the improvements that in the variator and the clutching setup, we're getting this thing to 50 miles an hour now. The biggest improvement that we had to get over that hurdle, we kept hitting a wall at about 47, 48 mile an hour. The biggest improvement was because of the Dr. Pulley variator. The Dr. Pulley variator is an amazing variator. They don't actually make one for the Yamaha C3, but we modify it in-house to be able to work on it, and it increases your top end speed dramatically. You lose a little on your acceleration, but we can play with the Dr. Pulley slider weights in there. We run 3 grams in here now, and it works great. Still got great acceleration, and still keeps our top end with before we run into the rev limiter. If we want to go over here, I'll show you a little bit about the variator. This right here was an aftermarket variator that the customer had purchased and installed himself. When he bought this, this is all he got. This is a stock Yamaha part. This is a stock Yamaha part. This does have some improved ramps, and it works okay. It wasn't improving over stock, but the Dr. Pulley's better. Dr. Pulley slider weights work great in this. 3.5 grams work really, really well on a lightly modified to stock unit. The one that we run now actually has 3 grams with the Dr. Pulley variator. The Dr. Pulley variator is a great kit. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the back plate, comes with the 2 dry phases, and a new fan. This fan is kind of the key. These all working together is what gives you top end speed. Malossi does make one also that's available through MRP, but it helps with your acceleration but not your top end. So that's what this Dr. Pulley really is set up more towards your top end. And again, we modify these in-house to actually fit on the Yamaha C3, and they work great. On top of that, finally, performance belt for the Yamaha C3. It's kind of an oddball size. There's not a lot of choices in here. Malossi does make one, but it hurts your top end a little bit. It's again built for acceleration. This right here works great for overall top end and low end also. One other item that Dr. Pulley does make, and this is one of the best ones that you can get for any scooter that's out there, is the Dr. Pulley HIT clutch. This clutch has so much adjustment and holds so much torque that it just blows everything else out of the water. As you can see, it's got springs on the back and springs on the front. What the springs on the front here do are actually pillow springs, and what they do is they change this ramp right down in here and how hard this torques, because not only does these pads fly out, but they also move a little bit, and they move onto this little what they call a pillow ramp. And there's different angles on these depending on exactly what your clutch setup is and what you're trying to do, and they work really good. These back here are your normal stall springs, and what they just are like any other clutch as far as these springs are concerned on the back. It's these right here on the front that really allow this clutch to lock in and distribute all the power that you're making towards the rear tire. That's the clutch, and they do have a special bell that goes right with it. As you can see, it's nice and open. It also has heat sinks on it to keep it as cool as possible, still be able to grip. This works great on any sort of scooter that's out there. It also works for the Yamaha C3. So this is everything that we've kind of put towards this Yamaha C3. It's coming towards an end. We've kind of hit the limitations that we can on this because there's not a lot as far as rev limiting. We can't eliminate the rev limiter yet at all, and we don't have any sort of fuel controller because this is a fuel injected bike. Customer still wants us to go faster, so we're doing kind of putting this one away, and we're beginning a new project that we like to call Project C3Gy6. We're going to be ended up putting a Gy6 motor underneath the Yamaha C3. And we'll see how fast we can go. The customer's going to start out stock, and then from there we're going to go with MRP big bore kits, camshafts, exhaust, transmission upgrades that are all available for the Gy6. Put it underneath this Yamaha C3 and just see what we can get out of it and how many people we can really scare with it. So that's kind of a little tidbit of a project that we're working on. Is called the C3Gy6 is what we're going to be doing and calling it. That you'll probably see a few more updates in the future on it as far as when we get the brackets made and see how well it performs. So again, my name's Nick from KS Power. You can visit our website. It's kspoweronline.com. You can see all the upgrades for the Yamaha C3 and also the Gy6 that are available. Dr. Pulley, MRP, and many other manufacturers. Have a good day.
Martin Racing Performance, the most advanced parts on the planet. Oh yeah!